Friends, once again I am your honorary ma'am, and today we are going to deal with your lesson number 3 supplementary midnight visitor. In this you will find it is a very beautiful as well as interesting and adventurous story about one secret agent named Osbel. He is expecting a very important report. Another secret agent, Max, threatens him with the pistol, demanding that expecting report. Now we will show that does Osbel is outwit to him or not. That is the interesting point of this story. I hope you all enjoyed it a lot, and it is a very good. Here, the description of Osbel, a secret agent, is not like a very good or imagined character of a secret agent like slim and trim and with a very good personality. He is rather the totally opposite from this expecting personality of a secret agent, though his intelligent his intelligence, his wittiness is quite enough to make him, or we can say that okay, Osbel is, we can consider him as a secret agent. Let's see what happened. Yes, Midnight Visitor. It is written by Robert Arthur. Yes, now about the author. Robert J. Arthur Jr. He was born on November 10, 1909 and died at May 2, 1969. So he was a writer of a speculative fiction, known for his work with the mysterious Traveler radio series and for writing The Three Investigators, a series of young adult novels. Arthur was honored twice by the Mystery Writer of America with an Edgar Award for the best radio drama. So he was writing for a radio series, Traveler radio series, and radio drama. He also wrote scripts for television such as The Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock's TV show Alfred Hitchcock Presents. So this is the brief introduction of your author. So he is basically very famous one. Okay, so he is dealing with the radio series, radio drama, and as well as he has also wrote a script for television such as The Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock's TV shows for Alfred Hitchcock's Presents. Introduction. So basically this is a story about a secret agent, Osbel, who has spent an evening with the writer named Flower. Okay. Floor. Who had expected that as he would be meeting a secret agent, he would be looking into a lot of adventure. But instead, he rather gets bored when he meets Osbel, as the things that happened were exactly the opposite of what he had imagined. How Osbel gets rid of his unexpected guest proves his expertise as a secret agent. So the Floor, who had expected that as he would be meeting a secret agent, he would be looking into a lot of adventure, but instead, when he met Osbel, the things are going to be exactly opposite what he had Flower has imagined, and how Osbel get rid of his unexpected guest proves his expertise as a secret agent. First paragraph. Osbel did not fit any description Any description of a secret agent Fleur had ever read. Following him down the musty corridor of the gloomy French hotel where Osbel had a room, Fleur felt let down. It was a small room on the sixth and top floor and scarcely a setting for a romantic adventure. So, he has another imagination regarding the secret agent when Fleur was going to meet Osbel as a secret agent. But it is nothing like that. Whatever he has imagined, the situation is totally opposite. He has a small room in a musty corridor of the gloomy French hotel where he had a room. And after seeing this, Fleur let down, feeling that whatever he has imagined, the adventure, the thrill, that was he won't find here. So that was not for a romantic adventure. Okay, let's start with the musty. Means it's a hard word. Musty means having a stale, moldy, or damp smell. Corridor means a long passage in a building from which doors lead into rooms. Gloomy, it means dark or poorly lit, especially so as to appear depressing or frightening. Okay, scarcely, only just, almost not. Okay, so this is your hard words. Then accent means distinctive way of pronouncing something. Okay, passably, just well enough, tolerably well. Espionage, spying. Espionage, spying. Avison means imagined as a future possibility visualization. Sloppy means carelessly dressed. Prosaic means ordinary. Chuckled, laughed quietly without opening his mouth. Disillusioned, disappointed in someone or something that one discovers to be less good than one had believed. So this is the hard words of your overall paragraph. So now Fleur felt that Osbald did not look like a secret agent at all. He was following Osbald to his room through a smelly and a bit scary corridor. His room was on the top floor, which was the sixth floor of the hotel. Osbald was, for one thing, fat, very fat, and then there was his accent. Though he spoke French and German passably, he had never altogether lost the American accent he had brought to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. You are disappointed, Osbald said wistfully over his shoulder. You were told that I was a secret agent, a spy, dealing in espionage and danger. Now, what he says that Osbel was a very fat man, and his accent means the way of speaking. Accent was American, although he had been living in Paris for the last 20 years, and he could speak a bit of French and German too. But his accents belongs to uh, his original place, the way he belongs means American pronunciation or accent should be there. Though he is living in Paris for last 20 years and he could speak a bit of French and German too. The Osbald tells Fleur that although he was told that he was going to meet a secret agent, a spy agent, who had been dealing with a danger, crime scenes, and drugs, but Flower was disappointed because nothing was happening like that at that time. Extremely fat man Oswell was. You wish to meet me because you are a writer. Young and romantic, you envision mysterious figures in the night, the crack of pistols, drug in the wine, instead of having have spent a dull evening in a French music hall with a sloppy fat man who, instead of having messages slipped into his hand by dark eyed beauties, get only a prosaic telephonic call making an appointment in his room. He says that he had to spend the evening in a music hall with an old, poorly dressed, extremely fat man who used traditional method for making the information travel rather than beauties delivering to him. Like, the image of spy like a James Bond, surrounded by a beautiful girls and with lots of new technology and instruments. But here the scene is totally opposite. He spent evening in a musical hall with an old, poorly dressed and extremely fat person who is using traditional method for making information travel rather than beauties delivering to him. He then exclaimed that Flower was bored with him as soon as he opened the door of his room. You have been bored. The fat man chuckled to himself as he unlocked the door of his room and stood aside to let his frustrated guest enter. You are disillusioned, Oswald told him. But take cheer, my young friend. Presently you will see a paper, a quite important paper for which several men and women have risked their lives. Come to me. Some day soon that paper may well affect the course of history. In that thought is drama, is there not? Now, he exclaimed that Flower was bored with him. As soon as he opened the door of his room, Oswald gave way Flower. He entered the room, closed the door, and turned on the light. Then Oswald told Flower that he had been thinking all wrong, and the best part was yet to come, as they would soon be coming across a paper for which a lot of men and women had risked their lives, and that report was very important. As he spoke, Oswald closed the door behind him. Then he switched on the light, and as the light came on, Flower had his first authentic thrill of the day for halfway. As he spoke, Oswald closed the door behind him. Then he switched on the light. As light came on, Flower had his first authentic thrill. Now something happened of that day. For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in his hand stood a man. Okay? So, yes, let's go with the quickly with the hard words. Whizzed, halfway means at or to a point, equidistance between two others. Then authentic means undisputed origin and not a copy, it's a genuine. Whizzed means spoke, breathing noisily and heavily. Slender, graceful, thin countenances, a person's face or facial expressions. Menacing means suggesting the presence of danger, threatening. Murmured means saying something in a low or a distinct voice. Missile means weapons, missiles directed by remote control or automatically. Raises the devil means make a noisy disturbance. Grimly means in a very serious, gloomy, or a depressing manner. Nuisance, a person or a thing causing inconvenience or annoyance. Balcony, a platform enclosed by a wall or blustered on the outside of a building with a cross from an upper floor window or a door. Inflection, a change in the form of verb to express a grammatical function or attribute, such as a tense, mood, person, number, case, and gender. That is called inflection. And pass key means a master key. Now, after saying this, Osbel closed the door behind him and turned on the light. As soon as the light was turned on, Flower experienced his first thrill of visiting a secret agent as he saw a man with an automatic pistol standing across the room. Whenever Osbel closed the door and switch on the lights, they come across with the first thrill of their uh, of the day. There was a man holding an automatic pistol and standing in front of them. Osbel blinked a few times. Max, he whizzed. You gave me quite a start. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in my room? Max was slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance of a fox. Now, Osbel recognized the man as Max and asked him what he is doing in his room when he was supposed to be in Berlin. Max was a thin and a bit short, and his face looked a bit like of a fox, means a very witty. So he seemed harmless except the gun he was holding. So now this Osbel know the Max, and that is why they have a conversation that I was supposed to expecting in Berlin. What are you doing in my room? Okay, and it looks like a thin and means he looks like a thin short, and his face looked like a bit like a fox. There was about him, aside from the gun, nothing especially menacing. The report, he murmured, the report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new missiles. I thought I would take it from you. It will be safer in my hand than in yours. Osbel moved to an armchair and sat down heavily. Now, he seemed harmless except the gun he was holding. Max said that he wanted the report about the missiles, for which Osbel had been waiting, as he thought that he would be able to keep it more safely. This is said to create a humor, as he just wanted the report for his own benefits. Osbel sat down on a chair and started speaking that he would definitely have a fight with the management. Osbel sat down on a armchair. I am going to raise the devil with the management this time, and you can bet on it, he said grimly. This is the second time in a month that somebody got into my room throughout that nuisance of a balcony. Flo's eyes went to the single window of the room. It was an ordinary window, against which now the night was pressing bal- uh, blackly. Balcony, Max said, with a rising inflection. No, a passkey. I did not know about the balcony. It might have saved me some trouble had I known. Now, Osbel sat down on a chair and started speaking that he would definitely have a fight with the management of the hotel, as this was the second time that someone had climbed up from the balcony of the room. Now the floor looked towards Now, Fleur looked towards the bar window and saw that it was an ordinary window. Fleur looked towards the window and saw that it was an ordinary window and that it was pretty much dark outside. Max said that he came through the master key and did not know about any balcony. Had he known about his work would have become much easier. If he know about this balcony, then he doesn't need use master key. He come from that balcony. So he decided that he won't come from that balcony. It's not my balcony, Osbel said with extreme irritation. It belongs to the next apartment. He glanced. Explanatory at floor. You see, he said, this room used to be part of a large unit, and the next room through that door there used to be the living room. It had the balcony, which extends under my window now. You can get in onto it from the empty room two doors down, and somebody did last month. Now, he explained that. Okay, now come to these hard words. So, glanced means take a brief or a hurried look. Explanatory, naturally means serving to explain. Stiffly in a manner that is not relaxed or friendly. Waved, move to and fro with a swaying motion while remaining fixed to the one point. Commanding means having a position of authority. Gesture, a movement of a part of the body, especially a hand or the head, to express an idea or a meaning, and evilly means morally wrong or bad. Now, Osbel continued that it was not his balcony, through which people had tried coming in, but was of the next apartment. The balcony belongs to the next apartment, but it is connected with his room also, so that is why people can come from that balcony. He then started explaining things to Fleur that his room used to be a part of a large unit, and the room next to his room used to be a living room. So his room is part of a large unit, and so the next room is used to be as a living room. Then he says that it had the balcony that come till to the window of his room. Now that living room has that balcony, and that balcony come till to the window of his room, and that is why people have chance to get into his room through that balcony. Then he says that to climb up to his room, one need to go to the empty room which was two rooms away from his room and climb up the balcony. He says that one needs to go to the empty room which was two rooms away from his room, and anybody can climb up to that balcony and come into the room. Then he says that somebody did climb up the balcony last month as well. He also describing he also described one incident which happened last month. He says that somebody did like this and came into my room through this balcony. Someone has done this last month, and he also told Fleur that the management had told him that they would surely get it blocked, but still hadn't done so. And he says that last month this incident happened. I complained management, and hotel management promised me that they blocked that way come out from that balcony to the room, but he didn't do anything. Max looked at Fleur, who was standing near Osbel. The management promised to block it off, but they haven't. Max glanced at Fleur, who was standing stiffly not far from Osbel, and waved the gun with a commanding gesture. Please sit down, he said. We have a wait of half an hour, I think, 31 minutes, Osbel said moodily. The appointment was for 20:30. I wish I knew how you learned about the report, Max. The little spy smiled evilly. Now, Max asked Fleur to sit down, as there was still half an hour for the report to reach Osbel. Osbel joked that it was not 30 minutes but 31 minutes. 31 minutes that were left for the report to reach to the Osbel. The report was supposed to come in around 12:30 at night. Osbel said that he wished he had known how Max had come to know about the report coming in. Max smiled weakly and said that he also wished to know how Osbel and his team had got the report. And we wish we knew how your people got the report. But no harm has been done. I will get it back tonight. What is that? Who is at the door? Fleur jumped at the sudden knocking at the door. Osbel just smiled. That will be the police, he said. I thought that such an important paper as the one we are waiting for should have a little extra protection. I told them to check on me to make sure everything was all right. Now, what happened? That Max smiled weakly uh, and said that he also wished to know how Osbel and his team had got this report. He wants to know that how Osbel and his team got this report. He added that nothing had happened to the report because he would take it from Osbel straight to his team. Then suddenly a knock is heard on the door and Max panics. Who was that? Fleur is also scared by the knock at the door. Osbel replied to Max's questions about who was on the door that it must be the police because he had asked them to check on him. After some time, as he thought that the report was about to receive, check on them, check on him. Max bit his lip nervously. The knocking was repeated. What will you do now, Max? Osbel asked. If I do not answer the door, they will enter anyway. The door is unlocked and they will not hesitate to shoot. Okay, now Osbel replied Max's questions about who was on the door, and it must be a police because he had asked them to check on him. Now, after some time, he thought that the report was about to receive was important and definitely required extra attention, so he asked for police protection. He had asked the police to check on him after every sometimes to ensure that right everything was all right. So now he says that it must be police. So they are arguing with each other regarding this door and balcony, and at that time sudden knock was there. Now everyone was scared, and Osbel says that perhaps it is a police because I have called them and I have make some extra protection regarding these reports because these reports are very important. Now some hard words: hesitate, to be a reluctant or wait to act because of fear, indecision or disinclination, swiftly moving or capable of moving with a great speed or velocity, flat, rapid. Then still, the horizontal piece of member beneath a window, door or other opening, shrilly means piercingly in a high pitch, deftly means dexterous, nimble, skillful, clever. Uncrooked means to draw the crook from, stammered, to speak with involuntary breaks in pauses or with spasmodic repetition of syllables or sounds. Sign, to let out one's breath audibly as from sorrow, weariness, or relief. Now, Max became nervous about the situation. As the knocking continued, and Osbel asked him what would he do next. And what we Osbel added that the door was unlocked, and if he did not let him open the door, the police would enter anyway and would definitely shoot if they not open the door. And he asked Max that, now what are you doing? Police are there. Police is the other side of the door, and now you have a gun. So what will you do? And if I am not going to open that door, then they will open this door anyway, or rather they shoot it. Okay. Max's face was black with anger as he backed swiftly towards the window. He swung a leg over the sill. Send them away, he warned. I will wait on the balcony. Send them anyway, or I will shoot and take my chances. The knocking at the door became louder and a voice was raised. Mr. Osbell, Mr. Osbell, keeping his body twisted so that his gun still covered the fat man and his guest. Now the knocking on the door grew louder, and some from outside called for Mr. Osbell twice. The knocking on the door grew louder, and someone from outside called for Mr. Osbell twice. Mr. Osbell, Mr. Osbell. And Max was sitting on the windowsill and was facing inside so that gun could still to be pointed towards Mr. Osbell and Flor. Max then held the windowsill and sat at the sill with both legs outside. Okay, so this is how he sit. It will show in this picture that one leg was outside of the window. So Mr. Oswald twice. Max was sitting on the window sill and was facing inside, or his face was inside, so he can put a point on Mr. Oswald and Flower. Max then held the window sill and sat at the sill with both legs outside. So he's sitting like that so he can cover the gun towards Mr. Oswald. The man at the window grabs the frame with his free hand to support himself. Then he swings his other leg up and over the window sill. The door knob turned. Swiftly, Max pushed with his left hand to free himself from the sill and dropped the balcony. And then, as he dropped, he screamed once shrilly. Now, Max then held the window sill and sat at the sill with both the legs outside. The doorknob turned loud, and Max thought that the police would be coming in, so he jumped from the sill to fall on the balcony. And when he fell, a loud and shrill scream was heard. Because there was no balcony, it was a trick of Osbel to get rid of Max, because the documents are very important and Max was using in a derogatory way, and he don't want to misuse that report, so that is why it was his trick. And he thought that there was a balcony under his room, and that is why he tried to jump on the balcony, and he told that I'm waiting. But when he jumped from that sill of the window, he was not fall on balcony, because there isn't any balcony. So he fell down, and loud and shrill scream was heard of Max. Swiftly, Max pushed with his left hand to free himself from the sill and drop, and they heard a sound of shrill scream, loud shrill scream. The door opened, and a waiter stood there with a tray, a bottle, and 2 glasses. Here is the drink you ordered for when you returned, he said. The door opened, and a waiter stood there with a tray, a bottle and two glasses. Here is the drink you ordered for when you returned, he said, and set the tray on the table, deftly uncorked the bottle, and left the room. Now, when he fell and they heard the scream of Max, when the door opened, a waiter stood at the door with a tray. A bottle of wine and two glasses were there. He came in and kept everything on the table and said that it was the bottle that Osbel has ordered for. He opened the cork of the bottle skillfully and left. Now what happened? That we have supposed expecting a police, but there wasn't a police. It was a trick of Osbel to get rid of Max. And whenever he opened the door, there was a waiter. A waiter stood with a tray, bottle of wine and two glasses is there. He came in and kept everything on the table and said that it was the bottle that Osbel has ordered prior when he back to the uh, this room of the hotel. He opened the cork of the bottle skillfully and left. He opened the bottle and left. And Fleur did not understand what happened and stammered that where was the police, because we all are supposed expecting that that this other side of door there was a police who is knocking rapidly, but it wasn't there. White-faced Fleur stared after him, but he stammered, the police? There were no police. Osbel said, only Henry, whom I was expecting. But want that man out on the balcony? Fleur began. No, said Osbel, he won't return. You see, my young friend, there is no balcony. Okay. So he opened the cork of the bottle skillfully and left. And Fleur did not understand that what happened. And he started stammered. And that stammered that where was the police? To which Osbel replied that there was no police. There is only one person, that was a Henry, the waiter, whom he was expecting. There were no police. But Fleur was literally scary, and he started stammered that police, where is the police? And Osbel replied that there were no police. That is the only one that he knew, that on the other side that was Henry, not a police, whom he was expecting. And Henry was a waiter. And then again Osbel asked about the man outside the window, to which Osbel replied that he would never come back as there was no balcony, and that Max has fallen on the ground from the top floor of the building. Okay, and later then he has a question that he has gone to the balcony. And at that time Osbel again replied that he would never come back. If you are imagine that there was a balcony, he was landing on the balcony and he's come back, then he will never come back. He would never come back, as there was no balcony over there. And Max has fallen on the ground from the top floor of the building. So this is how your physics should be mattered. Your wittiness, your cleverness, your timing in hard time, in this, this strong time, how you behave, how you in this kind of situation, how you behave, how you act like a very witty person, that's make you an secret agent. And the Fleur totally whole day he was getting that he was not fit in the idea, he was not fit in the concept of secret agent, because secret agents have their own different identity, they have own different physics, and he wasn't fit in. But he has a mind. Osbel, though he was a fatty, but he was a good spy or a good secret agent, because he have that mind power, he has that intelligence, he has that wittiness. And with the help of that wittiness, how he get rid of his own enemy who is in front of him with a pistol which is loaded, who can shoot by him anytime. Though he was very calm, very cool, and he was playing with the mind of the Max, his rival. He was playing with the rival's mind. And that is why he was talking about that I was complaining the management, and he told me that he blocked that balcony, he blocked that way. As Flor was seeing that there is a simple balcony, it is nothing like that. But he was not seeing like that. At that time, he was playing with his mind to get rid from him. Okay, rid from his enemy. So this is how a uh, true spy, according to me, is a person who can change the situation, who can use two opposite idea at the same time and change the situation, who who can't feel hesitation in their hard time or in a struggle time. This is called a true secret agent, and we can say that Osbel is a really very true and capable, and we can say that it's a considerable a spy. He is a considerable spy. We can consider him as a spy because he has the quality of being a spy. Okay. And at the end, Flor come to know that there was no balcony, and that Max had fallen on the ground from the top floor of the building. So it won't be possible for him to easily recover himself. Okay, so this is how he get rid of that person with the help of his wittiness and his mind power. So whenever you are there, whenever you are in such a business, your mind power and your wittiness is important for being a spy. Your physics is not important, I'm not saying that, but it is not that much important. Your mind is really important aspect while you are doing in such a job. At the end, I would like to sum up with this quote by Albert Einstein, that the measure of intelligence is the ability to change. You know how you measure intelligence. So whenever you are trying to do that, you have to understand how person has the ability to change the situation. Here we find that Oswald changed the situation totally opposite. Though he was without any weapon and the Max with a loaded piston, he has a power. He was playing with his mind, and with the help of his mind power, he changed the situation. He get rid of uh, Max without any kind of attention. He slowly and steadily making him start making him confusion making him confused, and started playing with his mind, and easily convince him that there was a balcony under his window. And he was convinced by his talk, his way of conveying the message, and he jumped from that. So his convincing power is also that. So the measure of intelligence is the ability to change the situation. That is called intelligence, and which is the most important aspect while you are in such a kind of profession of spy, undercover agent, regarding to this kind of this offices like CBI and all. So this is how your intelligence is must. rather than your physical ability is important, but your intelligence and your wittiness is far more important in such a kind of profession. I hope you like the story. I hope you get the idea that in such a situation, rather than being panic, we should we should uh, deal with this situation with a practical point of view, or with such a you know rational thinking is important rather than being a panic or irrational one. I hope you like this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it and you'll get a good moral from this story.